Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Job with the JIMS. My name is Jim Meyer, broker associate at Remax Gold. Now you have a friend in the real estate business, and I'm here with Jim T. Chong the Wok Star. Now you have a friend in the publicity business, and we have Jim Filippi from the Filippi Law Group. I have sent him many clients. None of them have gone to jail. Thank you, Dan. Richards, he sells real estate with Remax up in Seattle, Washington. Thank you for stopping by. Dan, I've got a question.
Hey, before you get started,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know Jim Filippi and Dan now. I know he's excited living in Seattle. What is the question we always have for him, Jim?
Yeah, I think it's everybody's question. I think we all wake up with the same burning desire to know exactly what's in Jim's coffee cup. So Jim, please let the people know.
This is a secret recipe that I invented, and it is so good that Elon Musk is begging me for the recipe, but he's not going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan, you've been here all week. We really appreciate you. The question that's been burning on my mind is, what's the difference between buying first and selling first?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So there's pros and cons to both. The pro to buying first is knowing exactly what you're getting and being able to move directly into it before you sell. So for people who are concerned about not potentially getting stuck, having to make a double move someplace temporarily before they can move into the home they're purchasing, then buying first is really great for that, because you just wait till you found the place, buy it, then sell. The downside there is that there's some financial risk to it, because we don't know yet for sure what your home is going to sell for. So if you sell first, it's the financially most conservative way to go, because then you know exactly how much is coming out of your home. And if that's going to have some bearing on what purchase price you're going to be okay with, then you know for sure that the ceiling on your purchase price is going to fit with where the sale price of your house is. So for people who are financially risk averse, selling first can be a good decision for them. For people who really want to know where they're going before they risk selling their house, then purchasing first is the best way to go.
And it's not always an option to do it the way you want to do it, because sometimes that house is right there. They won't take a contingent offer, and you might not have the finances in order to buy that house. But there are bridge loans, and I've got a client that he wants a $1 million house in Berkeley, and I thought, oh, this is great. Let's get him a bridge loan, and they want 2% off the top. The lender. So it can be expensive. Yeah, it would be wonderful if you could go and buy that other house, and then that way you can have the house vacant that you're selling, because who likes to get that call constantly that somebody else wants to come and see your house, and that everybody has to put clothing on. So I mean, the great thing about this show is I don't have to wear pants, but if I was selling my house, I'd have to start wearing pants. Jim Filippi, do you have a follow-up question?
You actually took it right out of my lips. I was wondering how the financing works in those situations.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add to that and say, when I'm meeting with a client to discuss options, that we're often looking at what all the potential options are. And then as we check a little further into it, sometimes that kind of narrows the field. Maybe there's only really one option that's going to actually work in their given situation. So that's the part where if there's a way to go non-contingent, and there's multiple ways to go at it, but it's really hard to figure that out with having an actual client and scenario and looking at what their resources are, what are the different factors that we could try to use to help them if they wanted to be able to purchase first.
And the nice thing is you've been doing this for 30 years. So more than likely, when you sit down with those clients, they're not going to ask you a question you have not heard before. And you're going to come up with some solutions that they probably hadn't thought of. And so it's great. And you seem like you're a very decent guy, and you're with Remax, which means you got to be good at what you do.
Jim, aren't you with Remax too?
Yeah, oh, yes, I didn't even think
Oh,
of that. Yes,
That
absolutely.
means you must be pretty good at what you do too.
Oh, yes. Wow. Thank you, Jim. I knew there's a reason you were on the show. Jim Filippi, Jim T. Chong, do you have a final comment?
I think this is a great time to really think about, kind of just the things we're talking about. With real estate, I think it's really important. Seriously, thinking about relocating to Seattle, maybe you contact Dan or just get a feel for the market if you're even considering moving there. Talk to Jim Meyer. I know you wrote a book also on terms of just buying a home, and I think you're very credible. You've been many years award winning in this industry as well. So my comment is, even though we have a lot of fun on here, we want to really make sure that you really do have a friend, not in the diamond business, but in this case, in the home buying business. That is Jim and Dan. So thank you very much. And Jim Filippi for estate planning. Incredible.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dan, will you come back tomorrow for one more episode?
I will be there, mug in hand.
Woo! All right, we're gonna see you guys again tomorrow.